this video, we are going to look at the colorization methods. Because of their rather complex working, they can be confusing at first, but they are as handy and powerful as any other coloring tool. Now first of all, let's understand why we need them. Here we have all the 5 brushes, and if we select all of them and try to change their stroke color, only 2 brushes that are not using any art get the change, and rest of the brushes remain unchanged. So in order to alter the color information in these brushes, we have to use the colorization methods. Now let's start with the first colorization method. Inside the colorization group, we have 3 methods. This clickable bulb icon gives us the basic idea about how these methods work. The first colorization method we have here is tints. Now in case you have no idea what tints are the lighter version of a color. When we mix white to a color, the result we get would be the tint of that color. Let's set the tints as the active method. Now as soon as we activate the tints method, it immediately changes the color of the brush stroke. Now what is it doing? It is just reading the stroke color information and painting the elements of the brush with the tints of the stroke color. In the case of grayscale brushes, black becomes the stroke color, the midtones become the tints of the stroke color, and the white remains unchanged. After tints, the next method we have here is tints and shades. We already know about the tints from the last video. Now the shades stand opposite to the tints. Shades are the darker version of a color. When we mix black to a color, the result we get would be the shade of that color. Alright, let's activate the tints and shades method and see what it does. So it is just reading the stroke color and recoloring the brush elements with the tints and the shades of the stroke color. In the case of grayscale brush, the lighter values become the tints and the darker values become the shades of the stroke color, while black and white remain unaffected. The next method in the list is the Hue Shift, and it works a little differently than the last 2 methods. This method uses a key color in the process, which by default is the most prominent color of the brush. But through this eyedropper tool, we can pick any color from the brush to be used as the key color. Let's press OK to apply this method and see what it does. Now as you can see that Hue Shift has completely changed the colors of the brush. The key color we picked has become the stroke color. But what about these two? Well, many people think that the colors other than the key color change to a random color. But the change in these colors depends on their positions on the color wheel in relation to the key color. If we check the positions of these colors on the color wheel, we will find that they are placed pretty far away from each other. And during the colorization process, Illustrator is going to use the same pattern as a reference to change the colors of the brush. Now let's take a look at how these colors have changed after applying the Hue Shift method. Let me expand it first, otherwise we won't see the correct colors in the color wheel. Now as you can see here that even after the hue has been shifted, we have the similar pattern here as these colors. The key color has become the stroke color, and then we have these 2 colors that have been located on the color wheel based on the distance these 2 colors are from the key color. So that's all about the Hue Shift method. This method is the best for the cases when you don't want a single tint or shade to dictate the appearance of the brush and want to keep it colorful.